Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to lay the foundation stone for the Jewar Airport in Uttar Pradesh today. This airport is being hailed by the government as one of its kind. It has a capacity to handle over 1.2 crore passengers a year, and once fully operational, it will be Asia's largest airport as well. Now, owing to its scale and capacity, the airport is being called as a gateway to North India. Aishwarya Paliwal gets you this ground report.
It is slated to be India's largest airport. Spread over 1,300 hectares with a capacity to handle over 1 crore passengers a year. Once fully functional, it will also be Asia's largest airport. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lays the foundation stone of the Noida International Airport in Jewar on Thursday.
Preparation work for the stone-laying ceremony of the Jewar Airport is going on in full swing. According to UP government, this airport, which will be spread across 1,300 hectares of land, will become the gateway to North India. And it will be really helpful to boost the economy of the adjoining areas like Noida, Greater Noida, Aligarh, Hapur.
The government aims to make the airport operational before the 2024 Lok Sabha polls. The airport is expected to yield investments worth 10,000 crore rupees for the adjoining areas in the initial years.
NCR क्षेत्र में एक बहुत बड़ी जरूरत थी। लगभग 6 करोड़ संख्या को एक एयरपोर्ट पूरा नहीं कर सकता था और हमारी संस्था इंटरनेशनल सिविल एविएशन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ने वार्निंग दे दी थी कि 2023 तक हमारे एयरपोर्ट, दिल्ली वाला एयरपोर्ट, अपनी क्षमताएं पूरी कर चुका होगा।
The airport is located about 72 kilometers from Delhi's IGI airport and 40 kilometers from the multimodal logistics hub at Dadri. The Uttar Pradesh government expects 1 lakh jobs to be created in areas like storage houses, defense sector and food industry. Once the airport is complete, Uttar Pradesh will have 5 international airports, the highest for any state in India.
जेवर क्षेत्र आज दुनिया का मशहूर क्षेत्र बनने जा रहा है और ऐसा विकसित क्षेत्र बनने जा रहा है जो इस पूरे उत्तर भारत के नौजवानों के लिए रोजगार के साधन लेकर आएगा। यहाँ व्यापारियों के लिए, उद्योगपतियों के लिए एक बेहतर माहौल बनाए।
Just before the crucial Uttar Pradesh polls, the BJP is on an inauguration spree. From unveiling India's largest expressway in eastern Uttar Pradesh to opening 9 medical colleges. The BJP is showcasing Vikas in the state to woo voters. The opposition, on the other hand, is calling it a poll stunt. With Aishwarya Paliwal in Jewar, Bureau Report, India Today.
Meanwhile, Union Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia has lauded the Jewar Airport ahead of the ceremony where the Prime Minister will be performing the Bhumi Pujan. While speaking exclusively to India Today, the Union Minister said that the Jewar Airport enabled economic growth in the neighbouring areas. He added that this is a dream project for India and Uttar Pradesh and has been re-energised by Prime Minister Modi. Scindia slammed the opposition for creating roadblocks to the path of progress, saying that this long-pending project could see light of the day only because of the Prime Minister. Scindia claimed that India got 62 new airports in the last 7 years, taking its total to 136 under Prime Minister Modi's leadership.
My question also about the vision that you had about airports expansion that you just spoke about as well. Recently in a conference with state civil aviation ministers, you said that you want to double that number. You want to take it to 200 plus by 2023-24. How are you intending to do that?
So let me just correct you slightly. What we have been able to do is that in the last 70 years, we had 74 airports in this country. In the last 7 years, under the stewardship of the Prime Minister, we have gone from 74 airports, added another 62 airports to our portfolio. So we have gone from 74 to 136 in a period of 7 years. So contrast 70 years of other governments along with 7 years of Prime Minister Modi. And we intend to go to 220 by 2025. But that is not airports alone. That number of 136 and 220 airports, heliports, all inclusive, right? And seaports, all for seaplanes, all together. And it is our commitment that we will deliver on that target for 220. I have a certain target that I conveyed to you when I gave you my 100 days target, and I will come to you at the end of my 100 days in the middle of December, and I will apprise you of what I have been able to achieve and what I have not been able to achieve. And I commit to you that we will go down this path of advancement of infrastructure and airline connectivity, both, so that we connect. As Prime Minister has always said, under Udan, उड़े देश का आम नागरिक हवाई चप्पल वाला भी हवाई सफर कर पाए.
One of the criticisms from your opponents is that, the government is going after sort of laying the foundation stone, inaugurating projects because it has an eye on the UP polls. And specifically, there was a criticism from Priyanka Gandhi, for instance, that the farmers, there are those who are camping just 700 meters from outside of Jewar Airport because they have not been either rehabilitated or compensated.
Well, let me say this, that there are those that believe in being roadblocks to progress for our country, who have a negative attitude. There are 130 crore people in this country who have aspirations, who have an outlook towards progress, who have an outlook towards development, who are in many ways empowered and motivated by Prime Minister Modi. That development engine is going to chug on because 95 to 99% of India wants to move down that route. The very fact today that Jewar Airport has seen the light of day after 16 to 17, 20 years of trials and tribulations. The fact that the idea was mooted by the then Chief Minister Rajnath Singh Ji in 2001 and 2002. The files caught dust for almost 15-16 years until 2014 when Prime Minister Modi took it upon himself to re-energize and re-look at the Jewar project. And from 2017, when we had a state government in place with Yogi Adityanath Ji as the Chief Minister, the double-engine Sarkar turned a dream into reality.
So we'll be getting you all the latest updates that come in on the Prime Minister's foundation stone laying ceremony at the Jewar Airport in Uttar Pradesh. Let's move on to the politics over the farm laws. Yes, the government has announced that it will be repealed. The cabinet has also cleared the rollback of the farm laws, but the opposition continues to question the government on minimum support price. Backing the farmers' demand of a legal guarantee on MSP, the Congress said that there are more issues that must be addressed, including MSP and compensation to 800 farmers who died in the course of this protest in the last 1 year. Now, RJD Chief Lalu Prasad Yadav congratulated farmers over the rollback and said that their struggle will continue till MSP becomes a law, till a law guarantees minimum support price. NCP Chief Sharad Pawar, meanwhile, accused the centre of repealing the laws only in lieu of the upcoming elections in Uttar Pradesh.
800 farmers has been already lost their lives, and lot many damages has been happened during this agitation. Farmers are in a distressed position. What is the compensation is government of India is going to provide? Then what about the MSP fact? Whether they are bringing a new legislation for MSP and assurance? This type of clarity we need it. We will seek that clarity from the government and the parliament.
The farmers' demand is there for guarantee bill for MSP. They want some kind of a regulatory bill of electricity giving concession to the farmer. And definitely due to wrong decision, more than 700 farmers has lost their life. They must get the compensation, and we demand that government should call an all-party meeting to resolve the issue.
We would urge that within Parliament you discuss it in entirety, issues like MSP guarantee and things like that. And outside Parliament, please continue holding the discussion with the Farmers Association groups, and not in the format of a monologue, but in the genuine format of a dialogue.
So the Union Cabinet has approved a bill to repeal the 3 contentious farm laws. It will come up in the winter session next. Farmers, however, have refused to budge. They continue their protest because they're saying that minimum support price is the flashpoint. They want a guarantee on MSP.
The government will repeal the 3 farm laws in the upcoming session. The formalities has been completed in today's cabinet meeting as well.
The government has bowed down to the Kisan, but the Kranti is still on. The Union Cabinet on Wednesday approved the proposal to do away with the 3 farm laws. With the winter session of the Parliament set to begin on November 29th, repealing of the farm laws will be top priority of the Modi government. But if the game plan of the farm unions is anything to go by, then the Samyukt Kisan Morcha is only looking to escalate protests. The chosen date, the 26th November, India's Constitution Day, where the farm unions are poised to open another front attacking the government. The moot point here, guarantee of minimum support price in letter of law. And the pressure will be mounted on the government right from the first day of the winter session as well. 29th November, the winter session begins. 500 farmers with tractors will march to Delhi. Farmers to mark 26th November as a day of protest. 26th November will also mark 12 months of the agitation. Farmers to go big with national, international protests. Protests to be planned in London from 12 to 2 p.m. by supporters. The question remains, why international protests now?
फ्रांस, इंग्लैंड में भी आप लोगों ने कहा है कि प्रदर्शन करेंगे एम्बेसीज पे, वो भी होगा?
अब भाई जो कुछ कह रखा है वो होगा, हमारी बात मायने क्यों नहीं लेते ये?
जो साडे संयुक्त मोर्चे का फैसला आएगा ना, जो साडे आगू बताएंगे उसे हिसाब दे नाल ये फैसला आगे चलता है। जहां हमारे आगू बोलते कि तुम चले जाओ, जहां रुक जाओ, वही फैसला हम आगुओं को बिना 1 इंच भी नहीं हिलेंगे।
29 को जो सेशन बैठ रहा है उसमें क्या लिखती रूप में आता है? उसके बाद राष्ट्रपति के साइन होने हैं, दोनों सभाओं में बात चलनी है, उसके बाद जो फाइनलाइज होगा, जो रिटर्न में हमारे पास आएगा, उसके बाद डिसीजन लिया जाएगा।
After getting the government to yield on farm laws, the farm leaders have now decided to dig in their heels on the issue of MSP, refusing to back down till MSP is law.
On 19th of November, on the day of Gurpurab, Honorable Prime Minister has announced that the government will repeal the 3 farm laws. And today when the cabinet met under the able leadership of Prime Minister Modi, we have completed the formalities to repeal the farm laws. And in the upcoming session, it will be our priority to repeal the 3 farm laws.
Even though the Prime Minister had urged all protesting farmers to return home, no one has moved from the borders of Singhu, Ghazipur or Tikri. Preparations on here at the Tikri border for a massive show of strength on the 29th November. The opposition, sensing opportunity, is cornering the government.
आज किसानों की जीत हुई है और नरेंद्र मोदी की हार हो गई। अहंकार की हार हुई है।
ये अन्नदाता को इस तरह का अपमान करने के बाद आपको ज्ञान आई है कि अभी ये बिल वापस ही लेना चाहिए। ये आंदोलन की चलते आपकी मन माफी के नहीं हो रहे हैं।
देर से ही जागे, लेकिन चलिए कभी तो ज्ञान आया। लेकिन एमएसपी को लेकर के क्या सोच? क्योंकि इस पर हम पूरी बहस चाहते हैं। जितना आपने बिल बुलडोज करवाने में वक्त दिया था उसको दुगुना, ताकि एक विशद चर्चा हो खेतीहर समाज के बारे में।
27th November is when the farm leaders will come up with a concerted plan. Until then, the 3 farm laws down. Now the demand of MSP is prime focus. Bureau Report, India Today.
For the last many weeks, there have been questions about the whereabouts of Parambir Singh, and India Today has now tracked down the former Mumbai top cop. Parambir Singh has confirmed to India Today that he is in Chandigarh and will be joining the investigation in Mumbai very soon. Remember that there are 5 cases that have been registered against Parambir Singh in various police stations of Thane and Mumbai. The former Mumbai Police Commissioner received major relief from the Supreme Court, which has granted him protection against arrest. He's been asked to join the extortion investigation by the court. Parambir had cited threat to his life in the plea filed in the Apex Court. The probe by the CBI has also brought attention back to a conversation between DGP Sanjay Pandey and former Mumbai CP Parambir Singh, in which Pandey advised Parambir to withdraw allegations against Anil Deshmukh. In the conversation recorded by Parambir, Maharashtra DGP Sanjay Pandey offered him a settlement under which ongoing inquiries against him would be settled. During the conversation, the Maharashtra DGP can also be heard asking Parambir to say that the allegations levelled by him was an emotional outburst because of the statement that was released by former Home Minister Anil Deshmukh against him. Now, everyone's talking about the cryptocurrency regulations, and investors in India are worried that the government's proposed cryptocurrency bill aims to prohibit popular virtual coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum and others. The new bill will be presented in the winter session of Parliament, that's next week, and it's aimed at prohibiting all private cryptocurrencies with only a few exceptions. Here are all the details.
A bill on cryptocurrency in the winter session has set off speculation, anxiety and even concern. The growing breed of crypto enthusiasts in India are confused. What has unsettled crypto investors is the bill's aim to ban all private cryptocurrencies. Of course, the government has kept a small window open by saying it will make some exceptions. Indian cryptocurrency traders are left wondering what would separate private cryptocurrency from public cryptocurrency. If it takes a more progressive approach, the government may allow cryptocurrencies, even private, whose transaction history is publicly available on blockchain ledger, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and ban all those cryptos who have a closed network. The other option is a more blanket approach. It can ban all private crypto, barring RBI-issued digital currency.
Nobody really knows what the definition of a private cryptocurrency is. In the crypto ecosystem, there's no such term as private cryptocurrency. So we need to wait and watch. Not panicking is the most important thing, and regulation takes a long time. So wait and watch.
The Indian government views it in a way where public cryptocurrencies are only the CBDC or the Reserve Bank's digital currency, which they are also planning to introduce via this bill, and then look at all the others, Bitcoin and the like, as private. Then we could see some major regulation out there, and that's the way forward really for the industry.
With many questions and very little clarity on the government's next move, there is a panic among investors on their existing investments. If there is partial regulation, the market will well see investors transferring their investments to global markets. Trade in international market will continue as before. Of course, many investors will continue to hold their portfolios, anticipating future acceptance. In case India proceeds to ban crypto completely, a time frame is likely to be given to exchange or dispose of existing assets. If this situation arises, the crypto market will see investors selling existing assets, a move that could kill many innovative Indian blockchain projects. Bureau Report, India Today.
Indian Premier League champions Chennai Super Kings have decided to retain captain Mahendra Singh Dhoni for the next IPL cycle. India Today has learnt that alongside MSD, CSK have also decided to retain all-rounder Ravindra Jadeja and opener Ruturaj Gaikwad for the next 3 seasons. Sources meanwhile suggest that Delhi Capitals will retain captain Rishabh Pant along with opener Prithvi Shaw and all-rounder Akshar Patel. For the 5-time champions Mumbai Indians, captain Rohit Sharma and fast bowler Jasprit Bumrah will most likely be retained, with the decision still to be made on their other 2 retentions. Sunil Narayan features in KKR's retention plans. A number of franchises, in fact, are tight-lipped right now on their retentions before the November 30th deadline. We'll continue to bring you all the latest on these retentions ahead of the mega auctions next month. And you can catch more details of that story and much more on our website, indiatoday.in. Do also download the India Today app. I'm slipping into a short break here on First Up. We'll be right back with lots more news and updates.